You think because I'm wearing gloves and pushing a mop, I can't solve something your brightest students struggle with? That's exactly what came out of my mouth the first time I locked eyes with the headmaster of Brookstone Preparatory. I didn't plan on saying it. But when you've spent 3 years swallowing every insult, pretending you don't hear the whispers, it just kind of slips out. It all started with my boy Caleb. He's 16, one of only a handful of black kids in the advanced track at Brookstone. That morning, he came home with another math test, bleeding red ink and F so big it looked like a scar. He sat at the table, shoulders slumped, mumbling about how Mrs. Carter, his teacher, announced to the whole class that maybe he didn't fit the academic profile for advanced math. I could hear the humiliation in his voice, even if he was trying to laugh it off. The thing about humiliation is it sticks. I saw it in his eyes when he said, "Mom, I studied." I really did. I believed him. But I also knew exactly how this place worked. They loved a story about scholarship diversity, but they weren't about to bend their teaching to meet a kid halfway. 2 days later, Caleb's called into Headmaster Lowell's office. I walk in still in my janitor uniform, name tag and all. I'd just finished my night shift cleaning the chemistry labs. Lowell's sitting behind this massive desk like a judge who already knows the verdict. He tells me my son's failing, that he's got 1 month to turn it around, or he's out of the program and maybe out of the school altogether. I tell him Caleb's smart, he just needs a different approach. Lowell gives me that smile, condescending slow, like he's about to humor me. "Mrs. Harris, this is advanced mathematics. It's not something just anyone can teach. Not everyone has the aptitude. Not everyone." I know what he meant. I take a breath. "Give us the month. He'll pass." He leans back, smirking. And how exactly will he do that? I don't answer. Not yet. That night, I'm pushing my cart past the advanced math classroom. The board's still covered in equations, partial derivatives, vector fields, topology proofs. Most people see scribbles. I see a conversation. My old language. Before life. Interrupted. Back when I was Dr. Naomi Lawson, Princeton PhD. Published more papers on chaos theory and cognitive pattern learning than I can count. Tenured by 35. Then my husband got sick. Stage 4 cancer. Insurance said the treatments were experimental, which is corporate code for you're on your own. I moved research grant money to pay for his care. Every cent I planned to put back. But in academia, bending the rules is a bigger sin than breaking them. They gave me a choice: resign quietly or be destroyed publicly. I walked away, and no one in the field would touch me after that. So now here I am, cleaning the floors where they used to invite me to lecture, watching my son get told he's not a math kid. The next day I bring Caleb into the kitchen. I pull down a dusty box from the top shelf, my diploma, my journal's articles with my name in bold. His eyes go wide. "You, yes, me. And I'm going to teach you the way I know you can learn." We start that night. Not with formulas, not with memorizing steps. I draw. I connect. I turn abstract symbols into patterns he can see, touch, imagine. And slowly I see his confidence light up again. 3 weeks later, Caleb walks into class and nails a problem Mrs. Carter can't even get through without checking the key. That's when the trouble starts. She calls him in after class, accuses him of cheating, says there's no way a failing student becomes the top of the class in 3 weeks. Next thing I know, Lowell's calling another meeting, this time with Mrs. Carter, a board member, and me. I walk in still in uniform. Carter doesn't even try to hide the smirk. "If you want to clear this up, just tell us who's been tutoring your son. We'll check their credentials." I look right at her. "I have been." Silence. Then laughter. She actually laughs. You've been teaching advanced mathematics? Would you like me to prove it?" I ask. Lowell waves a hand like he's ready to end this charade, but Carter's eyes light up. "Fine, let's see you solve this. She writes something on the board that's deliberately nasty multivariable calculus with a conservative vector field twist. I glance at it, pick up the red marker she uses to mark failures, and start writing. As I work, I explain every step. Show them 3 different methods. Point out a mistake she made in the setup, tiny, but enough to ruin any solution. The room gets real quiet. Finally, the board member leans forward. That's remarkable. I put the cap back on the marker. No, that's just teaching in a way someone's brain understands. My son isn't a cheater. He's a student who finally got taught in his language. Lowell doesn't know where to look. Carter sinks into her chair. That could have been the end. I could have walked out satisfied, but I didn't, because this wasn't just about Caleb. It was about every kid they'd ever written off. I tell them I'll help my son, but I want more. I want a program for every student who doesn't fit their rigid mold. Alternative instruction, teacher training, a whole shift in how they see potential. Lowell hesitates, then makes me an offer. Prove it works on someone else. Someone hopeless. Enter James, Lowell's grandson, a sophomore in college, failing calculus for the 2nd time. Brilliant in writing, lost in numbers. I take him on, but on my terms, no mention of me being a janitor. I meet him at the public library, notebook and colored pens in hand. 6 weeks later, James is pulling 98s. When Lowell tells him the truth, James just laughs. She could have been teaching from a treehouse, I don't care. She saved my future. The board meeting comes next. Standing room only. Parents, teachers, reporters. I walk in wearing my old professor suit. They try to grill me about my past. I tell them the truth, about the choices I made, the cost I paid. Then I point to Caleb, to James, to the line of students behind them who'd been written off until they learned differently. One by one they speak. Carter even admits she's been teaching wrong. When the vote comes, it's unanimous. The alternative mathematics learning program is born with me as its director. 6 months later, I've got an office, a framed janitor's uniform on the wall, and a line of students waiting to learn math their way. Caleb's thriving. James is graduating on time. And Brookstone's teachers. They're starting to see that aptitude is often just a mismatch between method and mind. But I keep the uniform there as a reminder. Because there will always be people who think they know your worth from the way you look, the job you do, the clothes you wear. And every time a kid walks in scared and convinced they're just not a math person, I point to it and say, if I could go from mopping these floors to standing at this board, so can you. So now I'll ask you, if you were sitting on that board, would you have given me the chance? Or would you have sent me back to my cart never knowing what I could do? Think about the people around you, the ones you overlook. Because sometimes, the person pushing the mop might be the one who can change your life. What about you? Have you ever been underestimated? Or have you judged someone and been proven dead wrong? Tell me in the comments. Let's talk about it.